Hey guys, it's Swayze here and welcome back to another video. So I was thinking of a game series I could do on the channel and I thought what better yet than to do Pokemon. See, Pokemon is my most favorite game series ever and I'm able to play all of them from generations 1 to 7 either on my 3DS or the website on the computer. Now each of the Pokemon games have 3 starter Pokemon being either Fire, Water, or Grass type. How the series will work is I will be starting with the Fire type starters and going from game to game starting with Fire Red using Charmander all the way to using Fennekin and Pokemon X. Then I will switch to the Water types and then the Grass types. I will be doing it this way to make sure that me and you guys, the viewers, don't get bored of seeing and playing the same game 3 times until I move on to the next one. But in today's video, we'll be starting with Pokemon Pearl and focusing on the Fire-type Pokemon Chimchar. Looking at Chimchar's moves, it's not incredibly bad, but we are solely limited to Fire and normal attacks. At level 7, he learns Ember. At level 17, he learns Flamewheel, which is stronger than Ember, and we'll be using it most up until level 41 when we learn Flamethrower. We'll also be using TMs such as Rock Smash to help against the first Rock-type gym, Grass Knot to help against Water types, Fire Blast is a stronger Fire type move, Double Team to avoid more attacks, and Return adds an overall. Now going over the rules for this challenge. Number 1, we will only be able to use Chimchar in battle, however we can use other Pokemon in our party for TMs. Number 2, we can't have any items in battle, however we can let Chimchar hold items such as the Flame Plate to boost Fire type attacks. And lastly, number 3, we can't use any glitches throughout this run, but I don't know how to do that, so that doesn't really matter. But without further ado, let's finally get into starting this challenge. So we start the game out by meeting our rival Yogurt, and he tells us to meet him at the lake and he will find us $1 million of her lake. Like damn bro! When we get to the lake, me and Yoko are attacked by a group of Star and we're forced to choose a Pokemon out of the briefcase. For this challenge, we choose the Fire-type Pokemon Chimchar. Going against Starly is easy. We use Scratch against it to bring it to half health before he uses Growl on me to lower my attack. Then I use Scratch again getting low health, then he uses Tackle on me doing little damage until I take it out with one more Scratch. In Route 202, we have our first rival battle against Yogurt, and the first Pokemon he sends out is Starly. I use Ember against it, bringing it down to low health before he uses Ground on me to lower my attack. I then use one last Ember to turn this bird into a Thanksgiving dinner. Next out is Pablo, who I use Scratch against to do little damage before he uses Pound on me, which does nothing. I use Scratch again and he uses Pound again, which still does nothing. From this point, he keeps using Ground on me, which lowers my attack, but finally after 3 more scratches, I'm able to take this man out, and I send Pablo back to the playground, winning me the battle against Yogurt. In Orberg City, we have our first gym battle against the Rock-type gym leader Rourke. He first sends out Geodude and we use Flame Wheel by accident, but we hit him for a crit for about half of his health. I then use Rock Smash, bringing it down to low health before he drops a rock on my head for about half of my health. He then heals up with a potion and I use Rock Smash about 2 more times to be able to take out Geodude. Next up is Onyx, and I use Rock Smash for about 1/3 of his health before he uses Screech on me. I then punch him with Rock Smash, bringing him down to low health, and bro yells at me before Rourke uses another potion. I then use Rock Smash about 2 more times to be able to take out Onyx. The last Pokemon that he sends out is Cranidos, and I use Rock Smash against him, taking about half of his health before he uses Leer to lower my defense. I follow up with one more Rock Smash, sending bro back to the prehistoric period, winning my first gym battle against Rourke. We head back to Jubilee City where there's a whole dispute going on with Team Galactic, but you already know me and my girl Dawn over here taking him out with ease. Like, you already know me and my boy Changuito got that riz, bro. In the final launch, we have our battle against the Commander Mars of Team Galactic, and first she sends out Zubat, and I go ahead and annihilate this man with a Flame Wheel with a 1-tap, and then she wants to go ahead and send out this fat ass cat, who I go ahead and I use Flame Wheel against it, and bro wants to go ahead and eat my thing up. I'm like, what? So then I go ahead, plan B, smack the fuck out of this thing with Rock Smash, and then he hits me with a Feint attack, and I get actually pretty low, but then 2 more Rock Smashes are able to take this man out, which I got lucky, bro, because 4 HP is crazy. But yeah, go ahead and take her out, and then this man's over here praying to God to me because I just saved him and his daughter and everything, and yeah, I'm amazing. So we make it to Eterna Forest, and then there's this woman that's over here talking about I need some help through the forest. So you already know, being the Rizzler that I am, I gotta help my woman out over here. In Eterna City, we have our second gym battle against the Grass-type gym leader Gardenia, who wasn't even a challenge at all for us. She first sends out Surubi, who I'm able to easily one-shot with a Flame Wheel. Next Pokemon she sends out is Turtwig, who I'm also able to use Flame Wheel against to take it out with a one-shot. Next out is Roserade, who outspeeds me and paralyzes me with Stun Spore, but I'm able to push past it and use Flame Wheel for the one-shot, taking it out and winning me the battle against Gardenia. In Galactic Building, we have our first battle against Commander Jupiter, and the first Pokemon she sends out is a Zubat, who I'm able to easily one-shot with a Flame Wheel. Next Pokemon she sends out is Skuntank, who I use Flame Wheel against for about half of its health before it shoots smoke in my face, and then I use another Flame Wheel, bringing it down super low before it heals up with a Citrus Berry and shoots smoke at me again. Finally, I'm able to use last Flame Wheel against it, taking out, winning the battle against Commander Jupiter. In Mount Coronet, we run into this random blue-haired dude who starts talking about how the world isn't as good as it was and the human spirit is weak. In Velostone City, we have our third gym battle against the Fighting type gym leader Maylene. Our first Pokemon out is Meditite, who I'm able to one-shot with Flamethrower. Next out is Machoke, who I'm also able to use Flamethrower to one-hit KO him. Our last Pokemon out is Lucario, who I'm also able to knock out with Flamethrower, taking him out and winning us the battle against Maylene. We go to Pastoria City to have our fourth gym battle against the Water-type gym leader Crasher Wake. First he sends out Gyarados, so I use Return against him to bring in the half HP before he uses Swagger on me and confuses me. Luckily I push through the confusion and use Flamethrower on him to bring him the low HP, and then uses Dragon Rage on me, which brings me to half HP, and then he heals with the Super Potion. I then use one final return to take him out. Next out is Quagsire, who I use Return against him to bring him to low HP, and he shoots me with Mud, bringing me down to low HP. He then heals with a Super Potion, but I'm able to take him out with one more return. His final Pokemon is Floatzel, who I'm able to use one shot against with Return, winning us the battle against Crasher Wake. Before leaving Pastoria City, we have another rival battle against Yogurt. He first sends out Starly, who I'm able to use Flamethrower against to take it out with a one-shot. Next out is Primpup, who I use Return against to bring it to low HP before he uses Pega against me, which just does nothing, and we're able to use one more return to take it out. He next sends out Ponyta, who I use Return against him to take him out with a one-shot. Last Pokemon he sends out is Roselia, who I'm using to use Flamethrower against to obviously one-shot him because he was not taking that, winning us the battle against Yogurt. I head back to Hearthome City to have my 5th gym battle against the Ghost-type gym leader Fantina. She sends out Drifblim and I use Flamethrower against him to bring him the low HP before he uses Minimize. Fantina then uses a Hyper Potion and I use another Flamethrower to bring it back down to low HP. I end up missing and get hit with the Astonish, but it doesn't matter because I use one last Flamethrower to bring it down. Next out is Miss Maggie, who I bring down to half HP with Flamethrower, and then it heals up with a Citrus Berry. He then uses Magic Leaf, which does nothing to Changito, and I use another Flamethrower to get him the very low. He then confuses me and heals with the Hyper Potion. I then take damage from confusion, but then I snap out of confusion and I use Flamethrower to bring it to low HP again before it throws leaves at me again, and I finally hit him with the final Flamethrower to take him out. Her last Pokemon she sends out is a Gengar and uses Spite, which drains all the PP away from Flamethrower, so I can't use it, but it doesn't even matter because I use a critical hit with Flamethrower to finally take it out, winning us the battle against Fantina. Again out of City, we get chased down by Yogurt, asking for yet again another battle. I guess he really wants an ass whooping again. He first sends out Starly, who I'm at a barbecue with a single Flamethrower, saying go back to the lobby and eating some Charon. Next he sends out double-sized Pablo, who I hit with a critical Flamethrower, getting it down low before he uses an area release against me to do little damage. I then follow up with one final return to take him out. Next out is Ponyta, who I hit with the return to bring it at low HP, and then he misses with a Fire Blast, which gives me a chance to use return to take it out. He then sends out Heracross, who suffers the sad fate of being barbecued by a single Flamethrower. His last Pokemon that he sends out is Roselia, who makes the same fate and is easily taken out by a Flamethrower, giving us yet again another win against Yogurt. We head over to the Steel-type gym to battle against Leader Brain. The first Pokemon he sends out is Bronzor, who I'm able to melt down to a penny with a single Flamethrower. Next out is Steelix, who is easily taken out by a single Flamethrower. Now this next part of the thing is extremely annoying with Bastiodon. So the first thing we do is we go ahead and hit him with the Flamethrower, which critical hits him, getting him down low, and then I also get to burn him. But then this man falls asleep and comes healthy again, and then wakes up with a berry. And then after this, it's literally just a back and forth. I get him down super low with Flamethrowers, and then he'll heal up with a full restore. And then the second time I do this man wants to go ahead and fall asleep and get back health. But luckily when he falls asleep, I'm able to use 3 Flamethrowers against him to finally take him out, winning me my gym badge, bro. We try to wake Valor to fight against Commander Saturn, and she first sends out Kadabra, who is easily one-shotted by a single Flamethrower. Next out is Toxic Growth, who I use Flamethrower against him to bring him down super low, and then he heals up a little bit with the Citrus Berry before starting to go ahead and punch me with Poison Jab. Then I go ahead and get my Leak back, because you already know I'm like that, and take this man out with a single Flamethrower. The last Pokemon she sends out is Bronzor, who is easily taken out and burned away with a single Flamethrower, winning me my fight against Commander Saturn. We fly over to Lake Verde to fight Commander Mars. First out is our Golbat, who's able to survive the burning flames of my Flamethrower. Then he actually goes ahead and manages to poison me, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to use one last Flame Wheel to take it out. Next out is Bronzor, who doesn't even stand a chance against the burning flames of my flamethrower and goes out with one hit. Next out, she sends out this fat ass cat again, who manages to survive my flamethrower once again and hits me with a feint attack. This thing gets actually pretty down low, but it doesn't matter because one last flamethrower is able to take it out, secure my victory against Commander Mars and her feck. We make our way to Snow Point City to have our 7th gym battle against the Ice-type gym leader Candace. First out is Snover, who is easily taken out with a single flamethrower. Next out is Mr. Yeti, who can't survive the heat and falls to one flamethrower as well. Next out is Sneasel, who doesn't even stand a chance against the burning flames of my revenge and falls to a single flamethrower as well. Our last Pokemon out is Metacham, who isn't even a ice type, but it doesn't even matter because one flamethrower is able to take it out, winning us the gym battle against Candace. Deep inside the Galactic HQ, we have our battle against Boss Cyrus. He first sends out Murkrow, who I'm easily able to take out with a single flamethrower. Next out is Golbat, who is able to take a flamethrower and he hits me with Supersonic to confuse me. Cyrus then heals up with a Super Potion, but it doesn't matter because I push through the confusion and take it out with the flamethrower. The last Pokemon he sends out is Sneasel, who hits me with Slash for a little bit of damage, but then I take damage from my own confusion, and then Sneasel hits me with another Slash, but it doesn't matter because I snap out of confusion and it can't bear the heat of my flames and falls, winning me the battle against Cyrus. Deeper inside the Galactic HQ, we have the fight against Commander Saturn again. First send out Kadabra, who falls to a single flamethrower. Next out is Bronzor, who also can't bear the heat and falls to a single flamethrower. The last Pokemon she sends out is a Toxicroak, who I cook up with ease, winning me the battle against Commander Saturn. We then make our way over to these pillars and we run into Commander Mars and Commander Saturn, who we have to fight in a double battle against with Yogurt. First they send out 2 Bronzors, so I'm able to take out one of them with a single flamethrower. Next we use flamethrower against the other Bronzor to take it out. They next send out Perigway, who misses with Hypnosis and survives my flamethrower about half HP. It takes a little bit, but finally 2 more flamethrowers are able to take it out. Staraptor then beats up Golbat and takes it out. Their final Pokemon that they send out is a Skuntank, who is easily one-shotted with my flamethrower. Golbat then makes the same demise and falls to a flamethrower, securing my victory against these 2 twins. I next have to fight against Cyrus, and he sends out Honchkrow, who survives my flamethrower at low HP. He then uses Embargo on me before Cyrus heals up with a Super Potion. I then use one final flamethrower to cook this chicken alive. He sends out Gyarados, which is where my problem starts. You see, I first use a flamethrower against it, which, as you expect, does not a lot of damage before he uses Aqua Tail, and, well, yeah, it takes me out in one shot. I then come up with a way to beat Cyrus by letting Changuito and Grass Knot. It'll give him a little bit more damage against Gyarados than using flamethrower. I then also use all 4 rare candies I have to give Changuito a little bit of boost without me having to grind for those levels. With a little more confidence, I try Cyrus again. My flamethrower still isn't able to one-shot Honchkrow, but he uses Embargo against me before healing up with a Super Potion, but then I'm able to take it out with one more flamethrower. Next out is Gyarados, who I'm able to use Grass Knot against to bring it to almost half health before he bull rushes me, taking me down to the yellow. I get lucky enough for Gyarados having to recharge, giving me the time to hit him with 2 more Grass Knots to take him out. Next out is Weevil, who hits me with a Break, bringing me down to 10 HP, but I'm able to use Flamethrower to take it out easily with a one-shot. Finally is Crobat, who confuses me in the beginning, which is sad, but after praying to God, I'm able to take it out with a single Flamethrower, winning me the battle against Cyrus. I then have my final gym badge against the Yellow Flash of the Leaf. He first sends out Raichu, who I use Flamethrower against to bring it to low HP. He then shoots me with Charge Beam, which luckily doesn't do a lot of damage, and I'm able to take it out with one final Flamethrower. Next he sends out Octillery, who I use Return against to bring him to half HP before he shoots Smoke in my face, which brings me down super low. I then use one final Return, and this man somehow survives on the smallest bit of helps and uses another Charge Beam, which brings me down to 1 HP. Minato then heals with a Super Potion, but then I use one Return, and then I use another Return, luckily getting a critical hit to take him out. Next Pokemon out is Locaray, who I use Flamethrower against to one-shot it, luckily, because I'm 1 HP. His final Pokemon out is Empapom, who I use Flamethrower against with Praying, and one-taps him, winning me my final gym badge and beating Minato. Before I can challenge the Elite Four, I have one final rival battle against Yogurt to test my worthiness. First Pokemon he sends out is a Staraptor, who I use able to one-shot with the Fire Blast. Next out is his Empoleon, who I land a lucky critical hit against and take him out with one Fire Blast. Next out is Big Man Snorlax, who took my Fire Blast for about half of his health before using Earthquake against me to bring me down to low HP. I then use one Fire Blast against him and take him out. Next he sends out a Heracross, who I'm able to easily one-shot with a Flamethrower. Next he sends out a Rapidash, who I return against for about half of his health before he hits me with a Fire Blast, which brings me down even lower. He then takes a return and uses Sunny Day, but it doesn't matter because I use one more return to take him out. Last out is Roserite, who I'm able to one-shot with the Fire Blast, winning me my final rival battle against Yogurt. Moving on to the Elite Four, we have our first battle against the bug user Aaron, who, for obvious reasons, isn't hard at all. He first stands out Dustox, who I quickly one-shot with the Flamethrower. Next out is Vespiquen, who falls under the same fate and gets one-shotted by a Flamethrower. Next is Heracross, who gets hit by that third time with the Charmin Flamethrower and falls. Next is Drapion, who manages to survive a Flamethrower and hits us with Excessor for little damage before falling to a second Flamethrower. And his last Pokemon, Beautify, is incinerated by Chunky with this crazy heat, winning us the battle against Aaron. This next battle against the Grunt-type user Big Bertha actually causes us some issues, and I'm sure you could probably guess why. First out is Quagsire, who I'm able to one-shot with a critical hit Grass Knot to take it out. Next out is Swaddle, who I hit with Grass Knot for about half of its health before he raises up a Sandstorm. I then use Grass Knot again, getting low health before he hits me with an almost fatal Earthquake. Bertha then heals up with a full restore, and I try to attack with Return to do more damage, but this proves to be ineffective and I get taken out by a super effective Earthquake. I try again with a different strategy, which is to use Double Team to be able to avoid Earthquake. Since all Quagsire can do to hurt me is dig, I start off by using Double Team each turn to raise my evasiveness. And this actually does work for a little bit. I'm able to dodge Quagsire's dig twice before getting lucky and actually getting hit with dig, losing again. I'll give it another go using the Double Team strategy, but still the outcome is still just the same, and this time it was even worse. I started out by using a bunch of Double Teams to be able to raise my evasiveness, but I keep getting unlucky and I get hit with dig twice instead of avoiding it twice this time. And yeah, it didn't work. I then tried Double Team strategy so many times and it still doesn't work. I mean, there's a few times it does, but sooner or later I managed to get unlucky and get hit by Earthquake, Dig, or Faint due to the Sandstorm. At this point, I come to the conclusion that this strategy isn't going to work. Or at least now, from where I am now, it's not going to work, and I decided that I think it's time to grind a little. So I know I need to grind some levels, but I don't feel like grinding for 3+ hours to get to where I need to be. So, solution? Rare candies. You see, it turns out there are actually a good amount of rare candies that you can find all around the game, out of which I've used 4. And I looked it up on YouTube, and I was able to get around 8 more rare candies. And then I thought to myself, what if this doesn't work out, and I'm going to need more levels? Then I would actually have to grind and it would take even longer since now I would be +8 levels. So I decided to grind, however with a much faster strategy. You see, since Aaron is the first person I have to fight out of the Elite Four and he's easy to win against, I decided to use him for my grinding. After defeating him each time, he fills up my XP bar about halfway. So the strategy was to beat him and then obviously lose to Bertha and to get put back in the Pokemon Center to then repeat the process. And surprisingly, this actually works. After about 1 to an hour and a half, I'm able to manage to get to level 85, and from there I use all 8 rare candies, getting me to level 93. At level 93, I now try this Double Team strategy again, and this time it actually goes a lot better. The same as usual, I start out by using Double Team to raise my evasiveness, and now using Flamethrower does around half of Quagsire's HP and burns him, but also I get hit with Dig before taking it out with another Flamethrower. Next out is Saddlewaddle, and I manage to avoid an Earthquake but get hit by his Hammer-on for a little bit of damage before taking him out with the critical hit Flamethrower. Next out is Golmhorn, and takes 2 Flamethrowers to actually take him out. Next out is Whiscash, and he misses his Aqua Tail, so I'm able to use 2 Fire Blasts, getting him down low before he uses an Aqua Tail to take me out. Alright, so I was not about to try another 20,000 times until I won, so I decided to switch up my strategy. And I actually came up with a new strategy, which was, instead of dodging all their attacks, why not just get strong enough to one-tap all of them so I don't get hit by them. And you know what made this possible? A move called Nasty Plot. See, long story short, a Nasty Plot raises your special attack by 2, which means it only takes 3 to get your special attack to the max. So I traded a hard skill to re-remember Nasty Plot, and bro, you won't believe what happened when I got Nasty Plot. So I start off by using Nasty Plot 3 times in a row to get my special attack to the max, and Quagsire manages to hit me with a dig, which brings me to 70 HP, but it doesn't even matter because I absolutely dominate her team with Flamethrower now, taking them all out in a one-shot, finally winning me the battle against Big Bertha. Now we have our third battle against fire user Flint. First he sends out Rapidash, who I'm able to take out with 2 returns. Next up is Steelix, who gets annihilated with Flamethrower. Next is Infernape, who I use the power of friendship against to show my dominance of the better jungle. Next out is Lopunny, who manages to take a Flamethrower before getting taken out by return. Flint's last Pokemon is Drifloon, who survives the Flamethrower at the little bit of health before healing up, which I then follow up with one final Flamethrower to take it out, winning us the battle against Flint. Now we have our final battle against the Psychic Elite Four member Lucian. First I added Mr. Mom and I used Nasty Plot to raise my special attack, then I used Flamethrower to one-shot him. Next out is Bronzong, who I melt away with a single Flamethrower. Next is Giraffe, who can barely bear the heat and falls to a single Flamethrower. Alakazam's out next, but his short time is lived as he is one tapped by Flamethrower. Lucian's final Pokemon is Medicham, who survives at a turn before touching me with his cold hands, and then which I use one more return to take him out, winning me the battle. Now it is finally time to have our final battle against the champion Cynthia. First she sends out Spiritomb and I use 3 Nasty Paws to raise my special attack so that way I can use a Flamethrower to take it out. Next I had is Gastrodon, who I use Return Against to bring it to half HP before I use the Stone Nudge me from half my health before taking it out with another return. Next I had is Milotic, who I use Flamethrower Against, bringing it down low before it shoots Ice at me, but that doesn't stop me because one more Flamethrower takes it out. Next is Garchomp, who I use Flamethrower Against, bringing it down low, but then uses Dragon Rush against me, which takes me out. I try a second time, except this time I use Nasty Paw 3 times to get my special attack to the max. I then use Flamethrower to one-shot Spiritomb, one-shot Gastrodon, get Milotic down super low before Cynthia heals, but this gives me the chance to use 2 more Flamethrowers to take it out. Next up is Garchomp, who falls to a single Flamethrower, then Lucario comes out next and he gets annihilated by Flamethrower as well. See, this last Pokemon is Roserade, who didn't stand the chance. It gets burned to a crisp with the final Flamethrower, taking it out, winning me the battle against Cynthia. And now finally, after 25 hours of total gameplay and 12 hours of editing, I finally been able to answer the question, can you beat Pokemon Pearl with only Chimchar? And the answer to that is yes. After playing an entire game of this, I found that it is possible. As long as it's the take, I'm happy I got to play this game again and I got to record it. And I plan on making more videos like this in the future, hopefully getting a new video out every week or two. The next challenge I plan on doing will probably be, can you beat Pokemon Fire Red with only Charmander? Hopefully the challenge won't take as long, but still be as fun and challenging. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more vids like this and what other challenges I should do. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.